Well, here we are once again. Hello, all you people out there in internet land. Welcome to more of a test than anything else. I am running a completely different setup than I've ever run before. Um, so this is really a test, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be running through a lot of different settings here. I'm going to be running through a lot of different. Somehow, Tony, I knew, Tony, somehow that you would be here tonight. So, hello, Tony Bendel. Good to see you, buddy. Juan, what's up, Juan? Oh, look, I can even do this now because I used to not be able to do this on the with the phone and stuff. Doing a whole new setup tonight. There's my buddy Juan de la Garza, great photographer from the Brownsville, Texas area. How you doing, Night Dreamy? Hey, Nora, good to see you. Stephanie, hello. Bevanley, what's up? Hey, Gregory, how you doing? Again, we're just I'm doing a test to see how well this setup will do. This is I'm using a ZWO ASI 224. You can see it right there. If you look on the right hand side of the screen, there's the kind of the what I'm doing. Hey, Claudia, how you doing? Yeah, the TikTok lives will come back eventually, probably. Hey, there's my buddy Shane Gonzalez. What's up, Shane? How you doing, man? Thank you, Juan. And when I get through some of these comments, I'm gonna go and start adjusting some of these controls. I kind of have it overexposed right now. Thank you, Anna, because I want to see, you know, how the how the software is doing and everything else. How you doing, Kate? And hey, Kathleen. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you. Okay, so I am going to go into the software now and kind of mess around. So what I can do is I can bring the exposure just to crazy levels, and then we can kind of see how some of the detail along the Terminator. I'm assuming you guys can see my mouse cursor. Can you not? If you can, let me know. We got Plato Crater here. I can't tell if y'all can see that or not. So if you would throw it down in the comments. There we go. That's probably, well, I mean, this is a full range right here, but you see how dark it gets. But you can see like even this area up here. Can y'all see my cursor? Thank you, Belle. Cool, we can see it. All right. Nice. Carl from Anchorage. Hello, Carl. He says, cursor is good. Cool. I agree, Nora. The moon is beautiful. And I can actually reorient this. I mean, it's just a camera in a telescope. So, hey, Michael. Good to see you, Michael. Hello, Greta. Good to see you. Sharon. Long time no see, Sharon. Except for last night. We had our astronomy meeting in Beaumont, Texas, and Sharon is awesome enough to let us invade her planetarium. One of the only surviving planetariums in Texas. I'm telling y'all, there's probably less than 10 real planetariums in Texas, and that number may be a little more, a little less. And Sharon Rigsby runs the one here in Beaumont, Texas. So Sharon, thank you for that. Yes, Juan, I am using an Orion Atlas mount. What I'm going to do, actually, since this image is kind of cool, I'm going to bring it up full screen on this side of things. So there we go. It takes up a little bit more real estate here. Yeah, Juan, this is an Orion Atlas. That's what I always forget the name of it, but Tracy, San Diego. Thank you. Jeff, what's up, dude? Yeah, Sharon. We had an awesome meeting last night. Had some cool people show up to talk about space stuff. Grand Isle, Louisiana. Nice. I kind of know where that is. So, one problem with this particular setup that I'm doing is the telescope control is way over there. So what I'm going to do is get up and move the telescope in a second. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. If y'all do share it, I appreciate y'all. If you don't share it, I understand. I mean, it's all good. But for those of y'all that do share it, like Michael here, thank you. Appreciate y'all sharing and following all the stuff. Exposure up just a little bit. I agree, Tony. Let's do that. Because it's a little dark, right? And even on my screen here, it's a little dark. So let's bring that exposure up. Let's go a little further than maybe normal, maybe right in there, just because I feel like the it's darkening the image a little bit, like the internet or running it through StreamYard or whatever it is. Thank you, Dean. Magic, Nora. Pure magic. No, it's just a bunch of telescope gear. Thank you, Brandy. If y'all would, drop where y'all are watching from. I know Tony Bendel is somewhere in the Pennsylvania area. Y'all let me know where y'all are watching from. Hey, Uriah. How you doing? Going out to look at the moon, huh? Well, you will be sharing an activity with me because that is exactly what I'm doing. And we'll be observing together just from probably hundreds and hundreds of miles apart. We got Jeff in Vermont. We got Deborah in Southern Ohio. Kathleen in Nevada. Love Nevada. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate you, brother. Houston, Texas. Well, I'm not very far over in Port Arthur in Beaumont. Greg says he's in Dallas. What's up, Greg? How you doing? We got Dean over in Michigan. Nora's over in Awesome. That's a cool place. I've been there before. Walled Lake, Michigan. PA Augustaville. Okay, interesting. Hey, thank you, Uriah. I appreciate that. Louisiana. I might as well be Louisiana. I'm as far east as you can go in Texas without becoming Louisiana. Brandy says, I'm watching from wild and wonderful West Virginia. We love the moon here so much we drink moonshine. I didn't know you could drink photons, but that's pretty cool. No, that's pretty cool, Brandy. Good to have you from West Virginia. Shane is watching from Texas, I assume. He says, dude, the new piece of equipment videos of the sun you shared were sick. Well, thank you, Shane. So that's another element to this right here. I'm actually going to be able to live stream the sun during the day, and I'm going to. So be watching for those streams during the daytime. Here, wherever you're watching me, whether you're watching me on Facebook, I'm on Twitter right now. I'm on YouTube. So thank you, Shane. Gwen's in Tennessee. We got Dean over in LOLville, the Lowell Observatory. You get it? Brad's in Udall, Iowa. Is that no? IA? Indiana? I don't know my state abbreviations. Southern Jersey. How you doing, Kate? Canada. I can't even say Canada right now. It's ridiculous. Hey, thanks, Dean. The polar alignment is pretty good. I had to pick the telescope up because otherwise the moon would have been in a tree. So before I turned everything on, I literally picked up this like 70-pound behemoth and moved it 4 feet to the left and kind of guesstimated where Polaris would be. Yeah, it's in that tree somewhere over there. Cool. And turned it on, and man, it's doing pretty good. North Georgia. Charlotte, North Carolina. Thanks for doing this. Well, thank you for watching, Craig. Appreciate you. Iowa, got it. Yes. British Columbia. Linda's in British Columbia. Very cool. I don't know what this looks like on Twitter or any of those other ones, but I'm sure it's hopefully doing good. How you doing there, Hilario? I'm going to move the telescope real quick. Next time, maybe I won't set these things up 4 days apart from each other here. Let's see. Let's get off into this area here. And then I'll drop the exposure. Whoa. That's weird, huh? Hey, thank you, Juan. I appreciate that, man. We got Russ in West Virginia. Atlantic City. Nice. Melanie, Long Branch, New Jersey. Tuning in from all over the world. It's pretty awesome. Hey, Kate, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the, obviously we're in a brighter part of the moon, so I need to drop the exposure. There it is. There it is, y'all. And already I see one of my favorite crater groups right here. You can see that. That's the crater called Messier. The Messier craters. And one of them is Messier A. I think it's that top one. And Messier B is that bottom one. And those are pretty cool because it's a double crater. And you can see these lines coming off of it. Right? Those are lunar rays. And lunar rays come off of craters that are fairly new. You can see there's some over here. There's some lunar rays out this way. You can see some lunar rays up here. I have to drop the exposure a little bit. Looks like my video card might be having a little trouble here. I don't know why. Let's turn the exposure down and the gain up a little bit. There we go. You can see this little guy right here. It's got some crazy rays going on, you know. So the rays happened, you know, when an impact happened. And over time, the sun will degrade those craters. Let me actually do that. There we go. Oh, awesome, Shane. Thank you. Very cool. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I know y'all can see kind of like behind the curtain. Thank you, Shane, for the text. You can kind of see like behind the curtain here, but that's okay. Some of y'all might be interested in how some of this photographic stuff works for the moon or whatever. I know I am, you know, and some of you photographers out there might be interested in this kind of stuff. But look at these. You see these white craters? They're everywhere. Really bright white craters. These are the newer ones. And by new, I mean less than 250 million years old or so. So the Messier craters up here, this little guy, this one here. There's a few others around the area. Whoa. 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 What? Please tell me y'all saw that. I can't open the chat right now. Okay. My knee-jerk reaction to what that was is a group of balloons. We're gonna have to watch the replay. Okay, which means, but that's a TikTok right there. That's an Instagram reel right there. It's all. Let's see if this is Shane. Okay, good. Yes, thank you, Shane. I can't open the chat. I believe if I open the chat, the image stops. But I could be wrong. Let me just try it. I can't tell. 12:40 a.m. Eastern says Russ says UFO. Hey man, maybe. But I have a feeling. Now look, listen, y'all, listen. If that was balloons, which I think it was, because when I saw it go across, for one, it was going really slow. Okay, first indication. Second, it looked like some grapes on the grapevine or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it looked like, and it came through this area here, right down this way. But it looked like grapes to me. And my first thought was balloons. Now listen, I have seen balloons cross the moon before. But I'm going to tell y'all right now that the moon is an incredibly small thing in the sky, believe it or not. It's not as big as a lot of us think, especially when it's out there on its lonesome, right? So the fact that a set of balloons, whether it was balloons or whether it was aliens from Arcturus, that was cool. That was ridiculously cool. Tony, I don't know. I don't know what the resolution is, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to do some digging on this particular camera with the focal length and the pixel size and all that, and I'd be able to figure all that out. Yes, lunar rays are very, very cool, and we can actually look some more into that in a second if you want. Did you get any of the solar flares on your vid of the sun? Actually, Nora, I think I might have on accident. I think I was filming a solar flare today, and I didn't even know it at the time. But I recorded some NASA data, and I'm going to take that NASA data and pair it with what I have and see what was that. Yeah, we don't know, Courtney, what that was. Everybody saw it. That was weird. I mean, technically by the book, Jeff, it definitely was unidentified and it was flying. So Courtney went back and watched it. Okay, cool. Maybe aliens like big grapes. You know, they could. Yeah. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I've caught a jet once before. It was on accident, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Shane. I'm gonna have to go back and look at, frame by frame to see. I don't know if this software is. So I think I actually have to be on my computer. I have to be on this screen for it to be moving, for it to be like a movie, which is kind of silly. And I hope that's not the case. How about that? This is way better. Yeah. Let's turn that exposure down even more and turn this gain. Whoa, way too high. Okay, this is more reminiscent of the iPhone view. I do have an infrared blocker on there. Okay, this is a movie. So maybe it's just when I'm in that full screen view I can't get it. That is very strange. And it's just a software thing, some of these softwares just don't do what they should. We're looking basically right at the Sea of Tranquility. This is the Sea of Tranquility right here, this particular one. You can always find the Sea of Tranquility by looking at the lunar Texas. This is an object I've called the lunar Texas because because it kind of looks like Texas. The image needs to be reversed for it to look like Texas, because right now it's a backwards Texas. But you have the El Paso area, Brownsville, Beaumont, Panhandle. You know, it's kind of Texas-y. But what I did was I found this crater here, the one at the end of the mouse pointer. That's a crater called Moltke, Moltke. I didn't name it. It's named after a scientist or a mathematician or something, whatever. Moltke. And right out here somewhere is the lunar landing site for Apollo 11. So about right where my cursor is where those guys would have touched down on the moon. Just so y'all know. Yeah, Steve, it's a good camera, you know, for what it is. I mean, a couple of $100. I mean, not bad, right? I mean, it's doing a pretty good job. Oh, thank you, Courtney Project. What's the diameter of the Sea of Tranquility? I believe it's like 400 miles across. We can look that up. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Thank you. Moltke Crater is about 3 miles across. And yeah, it does give you a sense of scale. Let's look at. I'll look at Sky Safari. Actually, I think I can. Can I do it on this laptop? Give me 1 second, y'all. Well, Courtney. I'm streaming to. Whoops. A bunch of comments came in. I'm streaming right now to my personal Facebook, my Deep Sky Dude Facebook, the Deep Sky Dude YouTube, and the Deep Sky Dude Twitter. I'm probably not having anybody view on Twitter, but that's okay. Thank you, Tony Bendel. There's the data right there. 544 miles. Tony, this is America. We put everything in miles, okay? We don't do none of those kilometers. Yeah, so it's about 500 miles across. It's pretty large. No, Dean, I am not using a Barlow. This is like straight up camera in the diagonal where the eyepiece would normally go, and we're just broadcasting the moon straight up. I shared on YouTube. Thank you, Courtney Project. Thank y'all for sharing. I really appreciate that. You know, that brings new people here who may not have seen my lives before, and that definitely helps me get the astronomy out to the people. Oh yeah, the Apennines Mountains. Yeah, we can go over there. I think most of the Apennines Mountains are up. Actually, they are a little bit down here at the bottom of the screen here, bottom right-hand side. Jeff says, where the rovers and all the equipment left on the moon after the landing? If so, I imagine the radiation has done a number on it. Yeah, so they're up there. Everything, we left a bunch of stuff on the moon. Seismic detectors and retro reflectors, the flags, of course, little pictures of the astronauts' families and stuff. Now, the flag and all that kind of stuff, yeah, the UV is going to have destroyed those things. That flag may have become brittle and fallen apart by now. Who knows? But you can't see that stuff from Earth. You need to be in orbit around the moon to see that kind of stuff. And yeah, because you're just never going to see that from Earth, because it's just not. It's just not possible. There's a resolution limit there. There's a bit better. Let's go all the way in. Let's just see. Okay. Okay. Whoa. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So obviously this is my first night using this particular program, so. And then can I drag? Okay, there we go. So there's a Sea of Tranquility in most of its glory. Let's bring that exposure up one. Wow, too much. Okay, bring that gain up. There we go. So now I've overexposed the highlands up here, but you can see I brought out some detail in the lunar sea itself. And this may or may not be the best focus for this. I don't know. I kind of got an image and got excited and wanted to see how well it translated. How well it translated to StreamYard. There's our friend Plato Crater down here. Bring that gain up a little bit, overexpose it. That's Plato Crater. It's about 70 miles or so across. I think maybe 60 or 70 miles across. Pretty big. Pretty big. I'm missing a few comments here. Let me get to those real quick. Shawnee says, "Well, I keep hearing your music in the background once in a while. Am I going crazy? Unless somebody else in the place is playing it. It ain't me. It could. You think it was that train? Could have been that train. I'm not too sure. I'm not playing any music though, because Facebook won't like me very much if I do that. They'll ban me for playing my own music. It's hilarious." Yeah, Rima Hadley is pretty cool. Yeah, and I think there's a Rima right here. Oh, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna bring up Sky Safari. I wonder if I can share. No, I cannot. I can't share two things. Why would that be useful? Why would you ever want to share two things? StreamYard says, "Thank you, Pam. Mita, appreciate it." Am I from Oklahoma? I went to a school. Oh, you're not asking me that. I didn't go to school in Oklahoma. I go to Oklahoma once a year, though. Really glad I caught this, Will. It's right on course for me. I was watching Alien Show last night. I know you're not a believer, but I am. Thank you. Well, yeah. Hey, again, I do believe in aliens. I just don't really believe that aliens have visited Earth. Although we may have just made first contact here at the Deep Sky Deutery. Yes. You know what? That is exactly. Okay. Now, yes. Okay, Shawnee, you're not crazy. That is my neighbor's wind chimes. Yes. Shane's mom has these massive wind chimes out there. And that is exactly what you're. See, I'm so used to them. It didn't even like occur to me that it could possibly be wind chimes. But yep, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this feature here. I'm going to pull up Sky Safari on my phone. And sorry, y'all, I can't show y'all what I'm doing because it's on my phone. So here's we got the Lunar Alps right here. This little chain. You know, we've already established this crater here is Plato. And yeah, Valles Alps is right here. This little rift. And yeah, these are some of these are caved in volcano or lava tubes. Some of them are where the moon topography has just split due to cooling. As the moon shrunk, it cooled and it fractured. Let me see if I can bring that. Almost want to bring that up to 2 and bring the yeah. See, it's a balancing act a little bit, you know. And also what I can do is just zoom in and see how bad the image gets if we can get away with something here. Not too bad, right? Valles Alps, that straight line right there. Definitely not straight if you were there, but that's about as straight as something as you can get on the moon. This is the Cassini Crater, named after Cassini, a very famous scientist. And then we've got Aristillus is this one here. We've got Autolycus. I'm butchering these names. And then this is one of my favorite types of craters right here. This is Archimedes. Archimedes, you'll notice something about this crater. See, this one has, you know, it's a bowl shape with a little mountain in the middle. This one is a bowl-shaped crater. Cassini is a ghost crater, and Archimedes right here is a ghost crater. And what do I mean by ghost crater? It's a crater that was formed long, long ago, long before this flat area was formed, right? So this crater was sitting here being a crater, right? And then as the moon shrunk and cooled, this stuff that made this sea was rising up from the inside of the moon. So this crater was here before this happened. And as that lava flowed onto the surface of the moon, as the moon shrunk and cooled, you get stuff like this. You get ghost cratering. So Cassini was here before. This Archimedes crater was there before. And they filled up like a swimming pool with lava. Long time ago. Hey, it's Joriotum. What's up, dude? Good to see you. So yeah. Plato, this big, whoa, what happened? Yeah, Plato, this little guy down here, another ghost crater. I believe this is Mons Pico. The thing at the end of my cursor here, let's confirm that though. Yeah, that's Mons Pico. Mons Pico is a mountain. So when I post pictures of Mons Pico, people see that long shadow and they're like, oh, it's a monolith on the moon. Wow, no, it's a monolith. No, it's a mountain. And in fact, Mons Pico, and maybe even, I think this is Mons Recti. Let's see. I forget the name of this thing. I can't click on it, which is silly because I should be able to click on that. Anywho, you can see how there's these mountains that stick up out of the flatness. Okay. Those are all that's left of a ghost crater or a ghost mountain range. You're talking, a really old feature on the moon where when this sea was created, and this is the sea of, let's see, Mare Imbrium, the sea of Imbriums. I don't know what Imbrium means. And good thing Sky Safari removed all their lunar descriptions. So thanks for taking something away from an app. That's hilarious. Hey there, New England. Good to see you. Have I ever bounced a laser off the moon? No, not me, but there are humans that do that. Oh, New Zealand. Gotcha. Nice, Ziggy. Yeah, there are definitely reflectors on the moon, and if you have a powerful enough laser and the telescope to receive the signal, you can shoot a laser at the moon and time how long it takes to get there and come back. And then you can, using the speed of light calculations, discover how far away the moon is exactly. Ooh, let's find out what this crater is here. I like this one. Eratosthenes. Right there. Eratosthenes is 59 kilometers. Is a 59 kilometers in miles. 36.66 miles. So about 37 miles across right here. So at 60 miles an hour, it would take you about a half hour to get across this thing. Which is pretty crazy considering. I mean, because look, I can zoom out and show you a little bit more of the scale. That's 37 miles across. I mean, I mean, come on. Let's go look at the southern area. And also, I'm going to do something. Since this is a test and only a test, I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to zoom in and see if I can get a better focus here. So we're at 350%. Oh, wow. That actually got better. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that got a lot better. Let me bring that up a little bit more. And, okay. Yeah. Right there is pretty good. I'll bring that back down. That's a better focus than we had before, I feel like. What do y'all think? I don't know. Let me zoom back out now. You know, we're going to go on a trek to the south side. Whoa. Aha. Rupus recta. Sweet. And I think Tycho's in this view too. Let me pull up. So this right here, y'all see this thing, this little feature? That is Rupus recta. It means straight wall. It's actually not very straight though. It's kind of crooked, and it also has a little bit of variation on it if you get close to it. Basically, this area up here was at a level, and this area down here, as it shrunk and cooled, fell down below this side, and it created this really long cliff. And we call that thing Rupus recta, or straight wall, whatever you want to call it. Why am I not seeing it on the map here, though? Oh, there it is. That little crater right there is called Birt. B-I-R-T. Birt. That'd be a cool idea, Jeff. Build a 2 square mile scale of the moon. Man, that would be an ambitious project, but it would be cool. The sun is about to rise here in England. The moon is so cool. Very interesting. Yeah, Ryan, I love the moon. I mean, you gotta love the moon. Tony asks, is this a different mount from the other live streams, Will? Seems a bit jumpier and less steady. No, this is the same mount. I think what you're kind of seeing is the atmosphere kind of moving a little bit. But also when I'm moving it, I have the what's it called? The rate. Yeah. I have the rate really high. So the rate tells the telescope how fast to move. So for instance, if I turn I'll hit escape, I'll go to rate 2, and then you'll see now it's much more chill, right? And that's because I had the rate on 9, which is the fastest the mount will slew. And yeah, so it is definitely a little bit more jumpy when you do that. Rate, Tony, is something you'll learn a little bit more about when you get your trekking mount. And I'm so glad you didn't order that scope. So we can get you something that's actually going to be conducive for photography, because that's the point, right? That's what you and I are after most of the time anyway. Yeah, Tycho is right there to the left. I'm going to point that one out right now, actually, while we're here. So if you look, I'm confirming the craters. Yep, this is it right here, Tycho. And this crater, when it's nice and fully sun exposed, you'll see a lot of lunar rays coming out of it, because Tycho is a fairly new crater compared to its surrounding brothers and sisters here. You can see these rays up here at the top. Let me I'll bring us up a little bit. You can see that there's rays up here. These are rays from when Tycho was created. So this crater right here, and you can see it deleted a bunch of little old craters around it. A lot of these craters in the southern hemisphere of the moon are very old. Very, very, very old. You can see they have flat bottoms, a lot of them. Some of them have complex craters where they have mountains in the middle with flat bottoms. So almost all the crater was eaten up, but not quite. Oh man, y'all, this is Clavius. Yes, and I know it's Clavius because I know these craterlets inside it. Let's see if I got it right. Oh yeah, that's it, Clavius. Absolutely. And what's this one? This one's cool. Mauritius, right here. Y'all see this one? Mauritius. Let's go down there. Actually, we're going on a journey. There we go. Yeah, see, Tony, how much smoother that is, that action. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. I bet it looks amazing in Alaska. Yes, the astronauts did leave retro reflectors. Absolutely. There you go. In fact, they do that laser experiment out here out of Texas, the McDonald Observatory. Got a balance working tonight. I'll go back and watch the rest of the video after it posts. Take care, buddy. Take care, Shane. We'll see you on the flip side, sir. Hopefully those are cats fighting and not a band of angry aliens that I've videoed their arrival. So this is Clavius right here. This is a big, big crater, and it's an old crater. So Clavius is mostly a ghost crater in that it's flat down here. But you can see that there are these little craters inside Clavius that are newer than Clavius, right? These craters had to be created after Clavius was formed, or they wouldn't be here. They would be obliterated, right? So these craters here were formed after the big Clavius crater. So these little craterlets inside Clavius are going to have like they'll be like Clavius A, Clavius B, Clavius C. You know, so like if you have this crater over here, which is, if I were to find it, it would be Maginus, Maginus. So I'm assuming that these little craters here would be like Maginus A, B, C, and so on and so forth, because they're a part of this, crater system itself. This is a beautiful part of the moon. It's one of my favorite parts of the moon because it's so riddled with craters. It's my understanding the southern part of the moon is a what's called a lunar highland, meaning that it's higher than other parts of the moon, and so you didn't get a lot of Maria being created down here or the lunar seas. You got more mountainy kind of stuff going on, but you could see that it was just obliterated over and over and over again. Hey, Chicago, Illinois, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, you can just see that it was just obliterated down here. I mean, you got these massive impacts. Y'all, these impacts would have been so chaotic and so destructive, a lot of them, especially ones like Tycho, and I mean, especially Clavius. And then what did we say this one was called? Mortus, Mortus, Moretus. Yeah, I guess you could say Mortus. This is a Groomberger. Made me hungry. And then, I mean, because all you got to do is get an app, y'all. There's an app for all this. Curtius is up here. Curtius, Curtius. Yeah, I'm going to move it up here a little bit. Yeah. Very cool. Decent image tonight. I mean, the sky isn't the best, but it's also definitely not the worst that I've ever seen. I'm actually going to, since we're here, I'm going to take a little video. Let's take 50 frames of this area. So what I'm doing now is I'm just letting this software take a video of this area. And then what you do is you take that video later and you run it through a software, and you can get really detailed images of the moon. All that wiggle you see, that's the atmosphere. So if we can take that wiggle out, we can see, you know, a really sharp image of the moon. I don't know if I should I create a new folder? I don't know. I don't really know. So it looks like it's just taking AVIs. I'm going to keep that idea going here. I'm going to do 100 frames right here and just let it run and do its thing here. Pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I always take this data and then I never do anything with it because I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to processing. It's pretty hard. Yeah, Tycho is actually just right above your name there, Dean, to the right. Hey, Starry Night, thank you. Tycho is... Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button here. Sorry. Tycho is this one right here. And look, right there in the center, right there just off my mouse cursor, you can just start seeing the very top of that crater being illuminated. The top of the rebound structure in the middle. That's pretty cool. Got a shot of Tycho there, Rupus Recta. So from here on out, this little island in the middle of this dark black abyss gets bigger and bigger because the moon is heading towards full. So we know that more light is going to illuminate this area. Tomorrow, this much of the moon will be illuminated or so. Okay. So all these craters that have darkness inside them, these over here, all these craters at this dark rim right here, all over here, that's all going to be gone tomorrow. And these craters are going to be fully illuminated, just like Tycho will probably be mostly, if not all, fully illuminated, or it'll look kind of like this, where it has this dark ridge going across this side of it. And that's just as the moon turns. It's like a sitcom. Probably get some good ratings as the moon turns, although it's really slow. Yeah, the stacking part. It's all about the stacking, you know. We'll see. I mean, I can see what comes out. Yeah, Dean, I just saved them to a folder. So I'm gonna do a few more of those probably over the course of the evening here, and then maybe sometime tomorrow start putting them in a software. I'm running this all on my Mac. It's just recently that these softwares have been available on the Mac, which I'm just so excited about. Because back in the day, nothing ran on a Mac for astronomy. I mean, you were hard pressed to find any apps that ran on a Mac for this stuff, you know? Look at all these craterlets out here, y'all. Oh, cool. What C is this? Y'all see that C at the edge here? This whole thing? Let's find out what that is. I think I know what it is. I think it's, is it Mare Australis? Let's see. Why is it? It has to be. Because it showed me a Brisbane crater. Oh, come on. Well, it's not letting me tap it. Okay, so this is actually a crater called Lyot, Lyot. This is what we call a rim crater. I mean, this is on the limb itself. This is the edge of the moon. Notice that it's not perfectly flat. It's got ridges. Those are the edges of craters. And this is Lyot. That's cool. I've actually seen that crater before a few times. Brisbane is this one right here. This really dark Brisbane Z is the name of that one. Brisbane E is over here. I wish it would tell me if that's... I'm pretty sure that's Mare Australis. This is Oken, O-K-E-N, right there. These are not, this is like stuff that you'll see only at certain times due to what's called libration. Actually, this looks a little better, huh? Oh, there we go. Yeah, a little bit. There we go. I mean, it might be a little dark for the internet. I don't know. Afshin from Maui. Man, how come you got to come in here and brag about being in Maui, dude? I'm in like mosquito infested Texas, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm just, hanging out on the beach in Maui, just doing the thing, I'm gonna hang out at the beach. Yeah, it's really funny. Really laughing it up. Good to see you, buddy. Missed you at 311 day though, man. Wish we could have hung out and had some beers. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Twin Boys Edwards. Appreciate you. So if that is, what is that thing? I don't know if I've ever. Valles Rahita. This right here is Valles Rahita. It's another valley on the moon. And it's got a nice little crater next to it. Rahita, right there. We've got this little oblong. You see this little oblong crater here? That is probably Rahita. Rahita E. But it's an elongated crater. Those are very cool. That's Stevinus right here. Stevinus. They have some weird names to these, man. But that Stevinus A is this one right here. Y'all see that bright white spot? Again, we talked about these brighter craters. They're newer. So the more bright rays, bright center these craters have, the newer they are. And again, new being in quotes, meaning 250 million years or less. All of these craters up here are probably in the 50 million to 100 million year old range. Hello, Hilda from Texas. Never heard of it. Where's Texas? Is that near Wisconsin? It's Wisconsin. Let's continue on here. We're just going on a crater naming parade here. Wrong way, dude. There you go, dude. Look at all these blast areas. I mean, that's what these are. These are areas where you would not have wanted to be at the particular moment when these craters were created. This would have been a bad day at Black Rock for sure. Oh, come on, don't do that. Oh, y'all, it's midnight. You hear all the wild and crazy people getting crazy out here in Texas. Saskatoon. How you say that? Daigong? Daigong? How you doing, Daigong? Travis. What's up, Travis? How you doing, man? Thank you, Hilda. I'm going to resituate. So we did catch a UFO tonight. Nobody's quite sure what it was. I'm pretty sure it was balloons, but that's for y'all to decide. That's Langrenus right there. I've actually seen this crater at a really thin moon. So that's cool to see it right now and be able to identify it. Because, y'all, this is an entire crater, but it's so washed out with the sun. Being the angle of the sun is so, down, straight down on top of it. Sorry, y'all. My mouse cursor was in here. Wrong room. This is Langrenus. And again, I've seen this at a very, very thin crescent. It looks like a crater. And this is a big crater, but it's like I said, the sunlight is coming straight down on it. So it's washing the whole thing out. This crater catches my eye. It looks like a number 6. Y'all see that? That's called Gockliness. Gockliness? What? Why? Who was named Glockliness that was like, they got a crater named after him? Probably a mathematician or philosopher of old. Maybe. I don't know. Same old thing, different rocket. For those of y'all that don't know, Travis is the guy to blame if you don't like Starlink ruining your astronomy. So file all your complaints with Travis here. He is solely responsible. Andy, West Virginia. Good to have you. Cool, Travis. Thank you. I'm just doing a little bit of a test here to see if this system is worth it. I am going to build a observatory eventually. I believe I'm going to do a roll roof, although I haven't quite decided yet whether or not I'm going to do a roll roof or a traditional dome style observatory. But it'll be here in my backyard, and that'll give me the opportunity to leave all this stuff kind of set up, minus a few parts, and that'll change everything, honestly, to where I'll be able to do this a lot easier, a lot more frequently, which is the goal, right? Yeah, like a number 6, right? Gockliness. And that thing, according to this software, is 73 kilometers. That's like, what, 30 something? 73 kilometers in miles. 45 miles across. Gockliness, this thing right here. And from what I can tell, looking at the star chart, yeah, this is definitely a ghost crater. This rim, I know that's all y'all can really make out. The rest is, this dark gray breccia. But yeah, this thing is an old ghost crater. There's a ghost crater, ghost crater, ghost crater. Ghost craters everywhere, all in through here. This is a really old one right here. This one, what is this? Rima Glockliness. Okay, cool. Gutenberg. There's Gutenberg. And I'd imagine that's Gutenberg A. Which, let's see. Gutenberg E, actually, is that one. But you can see Gutenberg had to be created first. Then Gutenberg E. And then millions and millions of years went by, and the moon started to cool, and this sea formed, which is the Sea of Fecundity, Mare Fecunditatis, right here. Okay, so these craters were created, and then the moon started to cool and shrink, and this sea was created, and it filled these craters up from the bottom up. And that's how we kind of know. You can kind of age the craters based solely on that. Now, you don't know age specifics from that, but you can get really good estimates on the age of these craters by that. Kalispell, Montana. I love Montana. That's such a beautiful state. I mean, Yellowstone, y'all. Yellowstone is there. What's this? Is this Mare Crisium? Yeah, let's go check out. Let's see if I can get it. If I just scroll. Yeah, look at there. We don't have to go anywhere. Mare Crisium. That's this one right here. That's probably one of the easiest seas to spot. I'll zoom out, and you can see, like, this is supposed to be one of the eyes in the Man in the Moon, right? You got the two eyes, the nose thing, and the mouth being like, whoa. But one of the eyes, the one that's actually round, is Mare Crisium, which I think is the Sea of Crisis. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Sea of Crisis. I know it's Mare Crisium, but I think that means crisis. And that little guy, wouldn't worry about that little guy. Let's see. Is that Proculus? I think so. Yes, Proculus. And since it has rays, we know what about that crater class? If it has lunar rays, it's a little older or younger than the surrounding area. Because, see, we know ghost craters are really old. These craters that got covered up, they don't even have lunar rays anymore. None of these do. Right? All the rays from these craters have been completely eliminated. But Proculus here is a young crater, so it has its rays still. From my understanding, the lunar rays will last, I think they said, about 200 or so million years. And you might be like, well, what's the process of erosion if there's no wind or air or water movement on the moon to erode these things? And it turns out it's the sun, the ultraviolet light from the sun bakes these things. And let's get a full screen thing going here. There we go. It bakes these things and just causes it to erode over the millennia. There's my full zoomed out, and there's no way to zoom with the man. Who designed this software? They need me on the team. I've got improvements already. It's good. I don't hate it, but it could be better. That's a pretty good chunk of the moon right there. I'm going to do a test, y'all. I want to run in and get something that I want to test. And I'm going to look at this on my computer. And I will be right back. Hang out if you want. It's going to get quiet. I'm not going to be here rambling on. So that might actually be better for some of y'all. I'm going to let this roll for a little bit. And actually, before I do that, I am going to take a little movie of this spot. There we go. Take 100 frames. There, it did it. Man, that was fast. 100 frames. That was really quick. I probably should be taking more like 30 seconds or so. Yeah, let's do a 30-second right here. The longer you take, the more frames you get, the more the software that's going to stack this has more to work with. But you don't want to do too long of a thing, right? So there's actually diminishing returns after a while. Very cool. The moon is beautiful tonight, though, y'all. Y'all should definitely get out and check it out because, I mean, wow. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this on full screen because I want to go see what this looks like inside the house. Hello, Deep Sky Hunter. How you doing, buddy? Thank you. Yeah, Deep Sky Hunter, you missed the UFO. We may have caught a UFO crossing the moon. It was toward the beginning of my live stream. I'm going to have to go back and try to find it. I know my buddy Tony Bendel timestamped it. I think it was 11:59 or 11:49 Central. It's 12:59 his time. Emilia, is it Amelia from Belgrade, Serbia? Well, hello, Serbia. Glad you could join us from Texas, looking at the moon. Yeah, man, Rima Hyginus is a great one. Um, I've just been going around, kind of seeing, you know, what features stick out and that kind of thing. And I'll tell you what, it's looking pretty good. I wish I could get this bar to go away over here, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Now I wonder if because my Deep Sky Dude, you know, watermark is in here, I wonder if I'm gonna get copywritten hit because of this. We'll see. Park City, Utah. What's up, Thomas? Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe I saw it. Deep Sky Hunter. I don't know. I think I did. When the moon comes around, my whole feed on Instagram becomes moon pictures because I'm following a bunch of fellow astronomers, right? So, yeah, let me get that moving again. There we go. There we go. So, in this full screen mode, for reference to myself in the future, this will not allow me to run video like this and switch over to StreamYard. Luckily, I was in this frame when those balloons or the UFO or whatever that was went by. I think it was balloons, and I think the data will show that. It's a Saturday. The wind is trending from the west southwest, and so like a family in Baytown or Houston or Texas City or Pasadena, one of those towns could have released some birthday balloons, and those balloons floated up into the pretty high in the sky and happened to float across the moon for me on a night like tonight. The odds of that are very, very low, but not impossible. I've seen balloons go across the moon before, but I've never caught it on video as far as I can tell. So, okay, I'm going to go inside. I want to see what this looks like on my big computer screen. And I will be back in a few minutes. Drop comments if y'all want to. And when I get back, I'll highlight some of those. And also, I'm going to check this on Twitter. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Y'all, give me a few minutes. Okay, any UFOs so far? No? Okay. My buddy Tony just sent me a picture. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna go check it on my new flat screen in the house. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, well, oh man, I just totally almost knocked my computer over. it looks amazing on my TV. My friend Tony Bendel is telling me that he's seeing it on his TV. It's looking really good. That's good news, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try that, Tony. So I don't know if I can change resolution or not. I don't think I can change resolution. Display gamma. I know that brightens things up. Maybe that would help. Yeah, that actually helped on my end on the computer end, but that's too much. Maybe right there. Display contrast. Oh wow, look at that. Hey, now we are talking. Look at that. Man, you can actually make the separation out between the minerals here in the Maria. Sun color. Okay, yeah, that's not cool. Okay, so those display controls definitely helped. You can see it, we're combing a little bit in the histogram, but that's okay. Very interesting. Okay, got some comments here. We'll go through those real quick. Yeah, we can definitely go to the Apennine Mountains here in a second. Hunter, for sure. Clear Ambient Sky says, howdy from East Texas, Deep Sky Dude. I'm on Lake Livingston. Great live stream. Well, thank you, Clear Ambient Skies. Love the name. And on Lake Livingston, not too far from me, just a couple 100 miles. Very cool. I hope it's a nice night out there for you. It's a beautiful night over here down in Port Arthur. You can hear the wind probably picking up a little bit. Yeah, Serbia, welcome. It's cool to have Serbia here. I mean, we usually have Chile and Argentina and just South Africa, just all kinds of places. It's really cool. I don't know what that means. Deep Sky Hunter, I could, yes. I don't have my Barlow on hand though, which is, it is what it is. But yeah, I was able to clean that image up. I don't know, Tony. Now maybe text me and let me know what you think of that versus what we just had. Also, again, I have a UV IR cut filter in here, which it may, depending, I may take that thing out and see how that does. How's ASI cap compared to sharp cap or fire capture? Hunter, I have used nothing but fire capture my whole astrophotography life. I love that program. I know it a little bit. I could definitely use some people who know more about it to help me with it. But this is way easier, to be honest with you. This ASI cap, and it's working on my Macintosh, which is blowing my brain out right now. I mean, that's nothing I'm used to, because that's not supposed to be possible, because of just whatever. This is actually pretty eye-opening here. The level of control I have is just, plus I can put y'all's comments up. I could have a microphone, to get better audio. I can have guests come on if we do it this way, versus with an iPhone, I can barely read y'all's comments. So Carl, the detail being sharper earlier is probably, that's a keen eye you've got there, because the moon is getting low in the sky. As the moon gets lower and lower in the sky, you're looking through more and more air, because you're looking closer to the horizon, right? So you want to photograph or image stuff when they're straight up in the air as best you can. When objects start getting more and more on the horizon, you will start to lose sharpness for sure. Hello, Richard Reed. How you doing? On Toronto, Ontario. Hey, Tua. How you doing? Good to see ya. Yes, this is the 224 MC. I bought this camera a while back and bought it for this purpose, to use for astrophotography, and just haven't been able to do much. I took my UVIR filter out. Seems better without it. Dean, well, you may be... Look, we got the same gear train, don't we? Bring the gain up just a hair, Tony says. Okay. Okay. What about right there? How's that gain? Let them eat gain. Okay, that looks better. Honestly, tell me what you think, Tony. While we're doing that, let's because that IR cut filter. Oh, I see you. Yeah, I saw you message me, Tony. Sorry. I'm actually gonna take that filter out. So this image is gonna go to absolute heck. Okay. And I'm gonna bring that UVIR filter off and see if we can get something else going here. Clear Ambient Sky says, yes, it's a gorgeous night out here. A bit windy. It's a little windy down here, too. Not too bad. Doesn't stop me from imaging a few galaxies and the Eagle Nebula after it gets high enough early in the morning. Rasa. Nice. A Rasa 11 with an ASI 6200 MC. Very cool. Love the Rasa. I wish I could afford one of those. Maybe one day. Deep Sky Objects 2 works better than I thought. Yeah, absolutely. These cameras are pretty good. Yeah, those dark patches too are called the Lunar Seas, and the one upper left is the Sea of Tranquility. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, let me go get that filter case, and I'll put this filter up and see what happens. All right, so again, this the image will go away for a few seconds, but we'll be right back after these short messages. To use the solar filter that I was using earlier today, you have to have this UVIR cut filter. All right. And as expected, hold on one second, guys. We got to do some refocusing here. Let's go down to the Terminator. I like to use the Terminator to focus. Or down here, it should be good. Okay, that's about as good as that's going to get. Again, it's not a fair test because the moon has now gotten so low in the sky that, it's going to look different. But it definitely looks different. Now my exposure settings are all over the place. I almost like it better with that filter, which I've almost never said in my entire life. Normally, when I put filters on, I'm like, I'm taking that off. I don't like that. That's pretty good. right there. That's right at the edge of like losing like this region here. But we also still have the other regions here. It's, you know, it's hard to tell. Turn the display gamma up a little bit. Maybe the gain up. That's almost losing it. Oh, it's, you know. Yeah, we were just at the southern craters. We can definitely go back down there for sure. You think it's better without the IR cut filter? Okay, interesting. Thank you, Hilda. Let's go to the south side. Let me do this. I gotta switch over. Lean over. Break my back here. Oh, there went something. Did y'all see that? Now I know that that was a bird. I'm gonna claim that was a bird. That looked like a bird. The lovely south side. Like you, Deep Sky Hunter, the south side is my favorite area to check out. Let's see if I can get a little bit tighter of focus. Let's see. All right. Okay, that's pretty close. I need to get a new focuser for this telescope because it has been through the ringer. I've had to take it apart and rebuild it, and yeah, that's about as good as you're gonna get right there. Rebuilding a focuser is not fun. Let's zoom back out. Pretty good. You're starting to see these craters come out here now, just barely peeking out of the darkness. Very cool. I think it was a bird. That last thing was a bird, pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. I was pointing out Clavius earlier. That's a lovely crater. And you can just start to see the craterlets kind of coming out in the Clavius crater. Yeah, Travis, there is a Lunar X, but it is not visible. It's called Perbox X or the Lunar X. It's actually only visible like for an hour. And sometimes it's only visible at times when it's not favorable viewing. You know, like the moon might even be below the ground for you, or under the ground or whatever, under the horizon. So unfortunately, you kind of almost have to get lucky to see the Lunar X. There's calculations and websites that you can go to like simulate when Perbox X will be up. So you'll be like, oh, okay, in like a week or in 3 weeks, it'll be up at 7:30 p.m. And I know I have from 7:30 till about, I think it's a couple of hours. I think you have until like 9:30, right? And then you'll know when Perbox X is going to be there. And because it's kind of hard to get it right when talking about Perbox X. Hey Tammy, good to see you. Doing a little testing out here. Hope I'm not being too loud. Tammy lives right next door, so luckily most of the neighbors that live around me, like Tammy, know that I'm out here doing this weird stuff in the middle of the night for no reason. So the cops don't usually get called on me. We got a guy out there talking to himself in his yard. Luckily, that doesn't happen too much. Good to see you. Yeah, Deep Sky Hunter says, what I like about the south side, so many craters, and during the quarter phase areas with high elevation show up more. It's exactly right. While the inside of the crater is dark. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I love about down here. And you highlighted exactly what I said earlier, Hunter. The southern area is highlands, so these areas are higher than the areas up north that have the Maria in them. So there is a lot more cool shadows and contrast down here. Lots of shadows down there. Didn't know you were out there. Okay, good. Well, at least I'm not being obnoxious and loud, right? That's good. It's a UFO. What the moon is? I don't think the moon is a UFO, although the moon is kind of flying, sort of. It's orbiting, but I guess you could consider it flying. But since we've identified this as the moon, it can't be unidentified. So it's just an FO, a flying object, or an OO, an orbiting object. Hello, Southern California, Hillary. Good to see you. Thank y'all for joining, of course. I'm going to switch back over here to full screen mode for a second. And I'll leave. I won't open the chat, because if I open the chat, I won't be able to. It won't run a movie, which is weird. In the future, I might use a different program to do this. I have another one that'll run on the Mac, so I can try that next time and see. Somebody's playing loud music out here, and I mean it, y'all. It's like 1 a.m. Dean asks, so you're using the UV IR filter for solar observing? Yeah, on the I'm using this refractor unfiltered into a Daystar quark. Now, for those of y'all that heard the word unfiltered, never look at the sun with an unfiltered telescope. That being said, I did that today for the first time. Normally, when I use a solar telescope, I have a filter at the objective or at the front of the telescope. Today, I used my Daystar Quark Gemini, which is a device you put in a refractor, and you use it that way. And that was interesting, because I've never done that before, and it went against everything I knew about a telescope. Like, you do not point a telescope at the sun without a filter in it. Now, technically, yes, it did have the Daystar filter at the back of the telescope. So I was able to get the sun in there and actually record some pretty cool data. I don't know if it kept. I'm going to have to find that out probably tomorrow or in the next few days, when I get a chance to finally get that data off and see what I got. But yeah, so those Daystar filters, you can use them visually. You put an eyepiece in the Daystar filter, and you put that in typically a refractor, unfiltered, and you look at the sun. And it's a hydrogen alpha view, which for those of y'all that don't know, it's a kind of a reddish view. I won't go into what hydrogen alpha is. That's a long story. We can go down that road a different time. But I used this camera, and I was able to get some of the craziest prominence footage I've ever gotten. I think even me just recording with my cell phone, the computer screen, it looked insane. I mean, it was just incredible. And the sky wasn't even that good today. It was clear, but the seeing was a little bad. So the wiggle in the sky was pretty bad, like kind of like it is now. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Earlier it was horrible. But the cool thing is with this setup being this, user friendly, and everything working together kind of seamlessly. It'll allow me to live stream the sun during the day on clear days, um, while I'm getting data, while I'm because I'm about to start documenting the sun hardcore. As a lot of y'all know that are solar fanatics, and maybe some of y'all don't know, but we are heading into solar maximum over the next several years. The sun will begin to become a lot more active. And active, by active, I mean what's called sunspots, solar flares, coronal mass ejections, coronal holes. There's all kinds of stuff going on up on the sun. And I am obsessed and fascinated, right? Just like I am with the moon. It's all astronomy, right? And so I'm going to start really dedicating a lot of my time and effort to the study of the sun again. I've already done it a little bit in the past in white light, which is basically white light filters. You can get the stuff off Amazon, Thousand Oaks filters, and you can put those on the front of your telescope and then look at the sun. That's a pretty cool method to do it. There are caveats. You can only see the photosphere, whereas with hydrogen alpha, you can see above the photosphere of the sun, which is where the fun is, in my opinion. Now, sunspots are cool, and it's cool to understand sunspots. So I did the White Light Filter Award for the Astronomical League. It was a pretty extensive project. I got it done. And then I did the Hydrogen Alpha Award from the Astronomical League, and that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot in that one too. Let me pull this back here, see if we can get some comments going. Yeah, it is a little copperish right now, and that could be because of my settings too. I don't know. Yeah, Dean, the this Daystar Quart Gemini, it says it's a requirement. Any refractor over 80 millimeters, I believe, was their threshold. You have to use the UV IR cut. So I ordered off Amazon because I needed it today. You know, I knew I had a couple of clear days coming, and the weather's gonna go to trash. So I was like, man, I need this filter right now. And I went on Amazon not thinking they would even have it at all, and they had it prime to where I could get it today. I ordered this thing yesterday, so I got it in less than a day, which is good and, you know, crazy at the same time, right? Yep, we were looking at Aristophanes earlier. We can definitely go there, Hunter, for sure. Yeah, and like Dean says here, filter over the objective lens right at the front of the telescope. And look, unless you know what you're doing, don't look at the sun at all. I don't care if you think you have the right filters. If there's a doubt in your mind that filter might be compromised in some way, or it's one of those old filters that you screw onto the eyepiece, no, don't do it. Unless you trust the person that's doing it, don't do it. Solar observing is the only inherently dangerous thing you can do in astronomy. It's a serious thing. It's not a joke. Because if you look at the sun in a telescope, and it's not filtered even for a split second, you will lose your vision forever. There's no pain involved. It's not painful. There's no nerves in the back of your eye that are going to tell you you've just committed the worst crime you could do for your eyeball. There's no pain involved. You're just instantly blind. So don't do that. Yeah, there's a lot of solar observers coming out of the woodworks too. Yeah. Well, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you watching, hanging out. Just a little live view of the moon and a lot of, rambling. Yes, hydrogen alpha is the way to go, Hunter, for sure. Travis says, all right, man, got to go to work. Got to figure out how to screw up your views fester. Nice seeing you. Thank you, Travis. Blame Travis. Hashtag Blame Travis every time you see Starlink satellites. We know who to blame. Mr. Travis Hunter. And we're going to scroll over to, I say scroll, what a dumb descriptor, Aristophanes. What in the world? I always hit the wrong buttons. You see this? What is even happening here? This is madness. There we go. All right. So I'll point it out with the magic cursor of doom. That is Aristophanes right there. These are the Lunar Alps. This whole crater chain. It even goes down over here, the Lunar Alps. Montes Apennines, I think. Apennines? I don't know how you say it. All these old words are so weird. Okay, the moon is getting very low now, and we're going to lose it into a telephone pole within a little bit. So I'll stream a little bit longer. This was a good test. I know I didn't put test in the title because, you know, I didn't think I needed to. I think this is Archimedes. Did I say it's Archimedes? This crater here. I have Sky Safari open. Yeah, Archimedes is this one here. Archimedes is, I think, one of the bigger ghost craters. Of course, Plato is a ghost crater as well. Let me bring that. I'm going to overexpose this so we can get the Terminator here. Yeah, so I'm blowing the this part of the image way out, but that's allowing us to see along this Terminator where the light is really faint. The light is, at a really oblique angle right here. And at certain parts, it's just kind of the light is running across the surface because it's just not quite, the angle is just not quite right. This is the dark side of the moon, y'all, right here. Don't let anybody ever tell you that the dark side of the moon is the same thing as the far side of the moon. That is wrong. That is 100% false in every way. The dark side of the moon is the side that's dark, right? The far side of the moon is the side that's far away from us, okay? So don't let anybody ever tell you that the dark side and the far side are the same thing. Have a good one, Hunter. Take it easy. Clear skies, of course. Hey, Jeffrey. How you doing, man? Good to see you. The 224 MC has a sun setting. Have you used it? I haven't had the opportunity since I discovered that setting. Dean, I just found that button. And I turned it on and it made the moon look really dumb. But yes, I can't wait to try that tomorrow, Dean. Absolutely. Sharon Rigsby nails it. It's nighttime moon. Absolutely. Yeah. So what Sharon's talking about, again, is the dark side of the moon. Down here, this is where dawn is breaking on the moon. It's a slow process, though, on the moon. The moon rotates on its own axis once every 28 days. So it takes a month for one particular area to experience what we would call, quote, 24 hours, right? One day. Let me bring that gain down a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit bright. So yeah, like what Sharon said is this is nighttime on the moon out here. In fact, if I can zoom out, you'll see that we're dealing with what I call taco moon. What in the world? Oh boy. I'm just all over the place here. So you can see up here at the top of the image, we're looking at a smooth limb all the way around. That's the edge of the moon from our perspective. Okay? But if you keep going down here, you notice that's flat. Like, that's weird, right? Well, that's because only half of the moon is illuminated here. Technically a quarter. This is first quarter moon, or pretty close to first quarter. Half of the moon is illuminated at all times, no matter what. But from our perspective, sometimes we only see a quarter of it, and that's why we call this a quarter moon. So I wonder, will this allow me to see the... No, I just don't have quite wide enough to show you the full moon here, the full extent of it or whatever. So, this is the dark side of the moon. This is the side of the moon that is unilluminated. The sun is this direction right here. The light is coming down this way. And the light can't get back here because it's the edge of the moon from the sun's perspective. So this is the dark side of the moon. Now, the side on the other side of the moon that we can't see back here, that's the far side. And the far side will always face away from us because the moon is what's called phase locked or tidal locked. So it will always be facing away from us over there. And what's crazy is there's some crazy cool craters and fun stuff over there that we'll never see from Earth because you just can't. Watching the moon now at Isla Muertes, but it's upside down. Dark part is upper. Aha. Well, yes, Alan, but that's what I see in my sky here too. This telescope that I'm using here is flipping the image. And I think it's vertical or horizontal. All telescopes kind of are going to flip an image, but this one particularly does it. I believe it's vertically. I could be wrong about that. So yeah, that's what you're seeing there is what I don't understand. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right, there we go. That makes a little more sense there. Let's just pan around for the last few minutes we have. We're almost to the telephone pole. Look at these little craters right here. I love this kind of stuff where it's like boom, 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 boom. There's just a little arc of stuff. Those may or may not have came in at the same time. But they could have. There are what are called crater chains on the moon. Lots of them. And I'm talking hundreds of crater chains. This is probably a crater chain right here. Okay. This over here is probably a crater chain. These are crater. See these three right here? These are crater chains. And you can see it maybe even it stretches out this far. These could have been formed when Tycho formed. Tycho is this crater right here. Although I believe it's supposed to be pronounced Tycho, but I refuse to pronounce it that way because it sounds silly. So Tycho is a fairly new crater. And you can see these lunar rays, these blast radii that are just coming out of this thing. You can see a really nice one here that was laid down. They all run back this way towards Tycho. And with binoculars, you can really see that effect, especially on a full moon. Look at Clavius down here. We're getting more and more of the crater. The bottom craters are starting to... Let's zoom in on that, huh? Look at that. Earlier when I started the live stream, none of this in-between stuff was there. It was just little ghost rings out here. Now they're basically filling in. And like I said, that's going to cause, the Terminator, this thing down here, will be further over tomorrow. It'll be like around in this area. And then tomorrow, when this much of the moon is illuminated over here, this will be fully illuminated. Tycho will be fully illuminated tomorrow, more than likely. Upside down and backwards. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'd have to look at Sky Safari to make sure. But there's no comment there. I don't know what happened there, Nora. Sometimes Facebook will not let it comment. Hilda says, "Will you be back tomorrow night?" Dean says, "I hope so." I'm gonna try. Maybe. I mean, I didn't really have plans. I've got a lot going on tomorrow. However, I will be out doing solar astronomy tomorrow, probably. I've got to do some chores tomorrow. So I don't know how that's going to play with like, getting some solar data and this and that. But I can set this gear up pretty quick nowadays, and get it out here, get it done, and get it in. And so, and that's my goal is to, I've been an astrophotographer for years. I don't really publish my work too much in that arena because I've never gotten anything that I was like truly proud of. I post more raw kind of stuff to show people, what the early stages of it looks like. I don't like to process stuff too much. I kind of like to show space in the real form, as a fluid thing, as a thing that's changing. So I'm definitely going to mess with that tomorrow and start posting stuff like that. Have a good night, Travis. Thank you, Astrophotography E-Magazine. Appreciate you. Nora says this was a great. Hope to find out what exactly you got on the vid. Be interested. Oh, yeah. You mean, yeah. Yeah. We'll see what that was. Look, I'm 90% sure it was balloons. When I went inside to look at the feed on the television in there, my wife had it queued up, actually, and she played it for me. And when I first saw it, it looked like balloons to me. It definitely still looks like balloons. So, and we're going to prove that. I'm going to take that clip and we're going to dissect it. I may even make a live stream out of that where we look at it together and we kind of talk about why it's balloons. But seriously though, y'all, these balloons would have been way up there. I'm talking thousands of feet in the air. And so the odds of them crossing exactly in front of the moon, like I said, are not that crazy high, but it's pretty high. The odds on that, because there's the sky is big, so thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, it's a decent setup. It's just a refractor with a camera shoved normally where an eyepiece would go, and then I'm piping that into a laptop. So it's a little bit of a different view than kind of my iPhone style thing. So I think it's been 5 years watching your broadcast. Yeah, it could be, Dean. I've been doing these broadcasts similar to this since 2017. Man, yeah, it's been 5 years. Wow. And if you'd have told me in 5 years you'll have 30,000 likes on Facebook, or is it follows? Because there's different. It's like I have 16,000 of one thing and 30,000 of another on Facebook. I have no idea why they're different, but they are. But if you'd have told me that 5 years ago, I'd have been like, "You're crazy." I'd probably have a couple of thousand at that point. or if you told me you'd have 160,000 followers on Instagram, I would tell you you're crazy. I'd tell you there's no way. There's no way that an astronomer from Texas who is inconsistently posting, posting stuff that he finds interesting, whatever. Because that's what I did the whole time. Just if I found it interesting, I posted it, right? And if you'd have told me back then when I started Deep Sky Dude, I would have laughed at you. I would have said, no, there's no way that I'm going to have 10,000 followers in 5 years. Maybe 10,000, but definitely not 20 in 5 years. I mean, come on. But 160,000? No, I wouldn't have believed you. And TikTok as well. I wouldn't have believed you that there would have been a thing called TikTok, to be honest with you, because it sounds silly, but it's there. So, yeah, Nora, no, we're gonna find out. We are gonna look at that, and we are gonna figure out what that was. And if it was a UFO, then so be it. I've always said, I don't really believe in UFOs. I believe in aliens, but I don't believe aliens have ever visited Earth. I believe that there's too many planets in the universe for aliens not to have popped up somewhere. But I think that they have to kind of stay on their planet. But I've always said, if I capture something like that, I'm going to post it. I'm not afraid. My mind is as open as the sky. If there are UFOs and aliens out there, cool. I want to know about them. But I need to see the evidence. And, I know some of y'all do. Some of y'all see evidence for that kind of stuff. And I get it. I'm with you. I see how y'all can draw those conclusions. But I'm a hard skeptic on a lot of things. So I kind of want to know for sure. You know what I mean? I just want to be 1,000% sure. And, but like I said, if I catch something, I'm going to post it and I'm going to let the world decide. So that those balloons or those grape UFOs that we caught earlier, I'm going to post it and I'm going to let the people on Instagram and TikTok and all the other platforms decide. I'm not going to, be like, hey, look at these balloons. I'm going to say, what do you think this is? What do y'all think it was? Do y'all think it was balloons? Or do you think it was maybe something else? I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's awesome is we're live streaming it. So no one can say we faked it. No one can say we, it was CGI, because this is real. This is as real as it gets. And we caught something. I just don't think it was aliens, but it would be cool. Yeah, Jeffrey, you've been a long time friend of the platform, so we appreciate you for sure, Jeff. Dean says, you're also deep sky lucky dude. You also caught a meteor impact on the lunar surface. Awesome. Yes, I did. That was wild. Sometimes you just got to film the moon, see what happens. And hey, look, here we are. I've caught planes crossing it. I've caught birds, tons of birds. I caught something impacting the moon. I've caught the moon going in front of the sun. I've caught the Earth shadow going across the moon. And now, maybe now, we caught aliens. Or we caught balloons. I think it was balloons. Yeah, I definitely have caught a few interesting things. Love the sound of the train whistle. I bet, and I do too. It's pretty soothing. It reminds me of here. I almost don't even hear it sometimes anymore. But I bet those people that live way over there by where those trains are like, shut up already. Because that train track is like a mile, like 2 or 3 miles from here. It's crazy how far it is. And you can hear the train rolling across the tracks right now. I can. Aaron, I'm using it's a refractor telescope. Okay. An Explorer Scientific ED-102 with the camera is the ZWO ASI 224 MC. I know that sounds like a lot of letters and numbers I threw at you, but you can always rewind the broadcast if you need to get all that info. And I probably change the description of this tomorrow to add all that in there, just so everybody knows kind of what we're working with here. I'm using this program that I just downloaded tonight for Mac called ASI Cap, which is fantastic. At least for this purpose right here, broadcasting the moon. It's not doing too bad. And the telescope is being driven on an Orion Atlas mount. I bought this Orion Atlas mount in 2013, y'all. 2013. I got this mount, and it is still rock solid. It tracks beautifully. I've never really had any issues with it. Say what you will about Orion. I've always enjoyed their stuff. Always. Their telescopes, their mounts, their binoculars. A friend of mine has the Eon from Orion, and that scope is tack sharp. I mean, maybe even better than this Explorer Scientific. I remember when he bought it, I was like, man, that's an expensive refractor, and now when you start getting to be an aficionado in these things, you're like, actually, that's a pretty good rate for that. What that is, that telescope. A friend of mine that owns it, Eddie Trevino, and a brilliant amateur astronomer. Eddie is brilliant observer. It's a really nice scope, though. What are the MP on the camera? The megapixels. That's a good question, Aaron. I'm not sure. Maybe Jeffrey or somebody could help us out there with a Google search on that. It's like I said, it's the ASI 224 MC. It's not very many megapixels. I don't know the exact number, but it's not very many. It's actually pretty low from what I can remember. But yeah, it's man, I tell you what, it does a good job. And I was using it on the sun earlier today. And it was just, I was catching some of the craziest prominences that I've ever seen in my life, man. And I've been looking at the sun for a few years now, and that was fun today. Head back over here to this side. We're almost about to lose the moon. My tracking seems to be losing too here. Yeah, it's getting very low, Dean. In fact, we're already down below one of the rungs of the telephone pole. So we're about to hit the telephone pole itself. And it's going to go real bad then, because, the moon is maybe just under 30 degrees now. And here in the South Texas area, you can, like, 35 degrees is as low as you ever really want to go, especially with the sun. It just gets so horribly disturbed as it gets closer to the horizon. Very cool, Nora. 1.2 megapixel. Gotcha. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. It does. And, you find out in astrophotography, you really don't need that many megapixels. What in astrophotography, especially for deep sky stuff, what you really want is the big megapixels, or the big pixels, not megapixels, big pixels. The bigger the pixel, the more light it's going to let into it, from what I understand. So, because I was always thinking about it the other way, like in astrophotography, you want more megapixels and maybe make them as tiny as you can, so that because you're looking at stars, little tiny things. But it turns out you want bigger pixels, because just like telescopes, the bigger the telescope, the more detail you see. The bigger the pixel, the more light it's going to let in, and quicker. So your signal to noise ratio is higher. You're getting more good signal and less noise. Again, some of you camera aficionados could probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is what I've kind of picked up over the years. And it's complicated stuff, astrophotography, Yeah, that pole killed us last night, too. Very clear night, though. No cirrus or anything. 13. Wow. That's terrible. That's terrible, Nora. That sounds horrible. 13 degrees. Tomorrow it'll be in the 80s here. I promise you that. Here in South Texas. See how the image is now wiggling a lot. We are losing the moon to the horizon, y'all. So we'll look at the Sea of Tranquility for a little while longer here. Aaron says, well, it's a beautiful sight, though. It's early morning here. Stay wonderful, y'all. Stay wonderful, Aaron. Have a great, I guess it's Sunday there, maybe, right? Well, yeah, you said Sunday. There you go. Have a good Sunday, man. And then hopefully a good start to everybody's week as we go into, middle of April now already, which I'll be getting ready for Texas Star Party tomorrow, doing some odds and ends here and there, along with some solar astronomy here and there too. We will see what happens with the weather, though. I don't know what the skies are supposed to do here. Dean says it's going to be 56 tomorrow in Michigan, but they'll have afternoon and evening clouds. I'm thinking probably, Dean, we're going to get some clouds in the evening down here as well. I don't know. I'm not sure what the forecast is. I haven't even looked at it. I tend not to look at the forecast anymore, because I'm usually like, oh man, really? Come on now. How come there's clouds, It always seems like, and there's the joke, when you get new gear, that when you get new gear, the clouds come. I'd say that's probably, there's some truth to it, but it also, at the same time, it's total nonsense. Clouds don't know you got new gear. But it's fun to mess with people. They're like, oh, you got a new telescope, huh? Okay, well, now we're all going to have clouds. Appreciate you. So you need to broadcast tomorrow night. Well, see, yeah, if I'm going to lose the rest of the week, I probably will. I can take a little time away and broadcast a little bit. I need to finish my album, though. That's the problem. And there's going to be a significant chunk of tomorrow dedicated to making music as well. Oh, nice, Jeffrey. So I'm finishing up my 4th record as Deep Sky Dude. It'll be my 4th album. And I'm really, really close. Really, really close. I think I'm actually going to take a couple of songs off the record and put another couple in their place. For a few reasons, but one of the main reasons is I feel like the newer songs that I wrote actually fit better with Volume 4. And I can take those songs that were supposed to be on Volume 4 and move them to Volume 5. Because I'm writing songs now that are going to be on Volume 5, right? You're always a little bit behind. So, but I think I might do a little switcheroo. I don't know yet. I can do anything I want. I don't have any bandmates. I don't have a record label breathing down my neck. It's just me making music in a recording studio that I've built over the years. So it's like, I can do what I want, right? How many platforms can you stream at once? Tony says multiple. I think I can do 10 or 8, Tony. So I actually might be starting to work with some buddies of mine from a storm chasing group. So I think they have maybe a million or so followers on Facebook, and I might start working with them. Yeah, exactly. Have a great morning, Nora. Take it easy. The ghost box is calling. Oh, don't want to keep that waiting, huh? Even ask why the are so big, not deep. I'm going to try that one more time. Even ask why the. Do you mean the band the? I know of the band the are so big, not deep. I don't know how to respond to that particular. Maybe some of y'all can help me. Even ask why the are so big, not deep. It is 1:30. I could be just not reading correctly. I don't know. Jeffrey seems stumped too. Or Jeffrey's a big fan of the Riddler. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a riddle and we have to solve it. Is this like some new kind of Wordle game? Y'all see what's happening? You see what's happening to the over here? The moon is changing completely. That's because we are in the telephone pole, y'all. Look at that. Oh, it just gets so weird. What's weird to me is we're seeing around a telephone pole right here. How is that still working? Oh, it's not working anymore right here. It's not working no more. Now look, it's going to slowly degrade. Let's watch this. This is actually really cool. It's a telephone pole eclipse happening here. We're slowly getting a telephone pole. Dean says, yeah, got a horse day with the wifey tomorrow, so got to go. Thanks for the stream, and hope to see you tomorrow. Dean, have a great day, man. Stay safe on them horses. And y'all have fun, man. Hopefully the weather's good for y'all. Getting out and doing some equestrian fun. Horses are cool, man. I mean, I live in Texas, so I guess I'm kind of biased. But y'all have a good one, man. Appreciate all y'all hanging out and sharing the stream if you're sharing it. I really appreciate that. If you're not following me on all the platforms that you have, please do. I'm posting all kinds of stuff as I get time to do such a thing. Deep Sky Dude on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. I'm also on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, Napster. All those. Gonna ride my iron horse tomorrow. I would make a joke, but I'm just gonna say, ride that motorcycle, man. It's a Bon Jovi joke. Isn't that Bon Jovi? Yeah, on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted. Hilda says, I'm in Tyler and I used to raise quarter horses. Oh, cool. Tyler, Texas, huh? Yeah, I know Tyler very well, actually. A cousin of mine lives near Tyler up in Hawkins, actually. And used to go to Tyler every summer. And I'm assuming you mean Tyler, Texas, Hilda. But Yeah. Tyler, Texas, man. Just went back there recently. Haven't been in 7 years or 6 years or something crazy. And I could not believe how much the south side of Tyler has grown. I mean, I it's still, I'm speechless with how many shops and businesses and just all kinds. It's wild how much that place has grown up. Okay, well, successful test at least tonight. At least we got a live stream out of it. I mean, not too bad. At least we got to live stream to YouTube and to Facebook and maybe even to Twitter. I don't know how it's working or not working. I don't know, but I'm not seeing. Yeah, so it is Tyler, Texas. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's cool for y'all though. I mean, there's a lot of cool places to shop and go, walk around and do stuff, but man, it did grow up out there. Polar eclipse must be over. Yeah, Jeffrey, it looks like it is. And man, a cool breeze just came in. The temperature is dropping. I do see some serious clouds floating in from the west down there by where the moon is, but overall the sky looks pretty clear. Pretty nice. Again, y'all, if you're not following me, I'd appreciate it if you did. Here on Facebook or here on YouTube, wherever you're streaming, you can follow me on those platforms. I post astronomy content and music. If you're into those things, you might enjoy it. Twitter is working well for the stream. Okay, thanks, Tony. I didn't know because when I went and looked at it earlier, I couldn't see anything, so I couldn't tell if it was working or not. I didn't know. But very cool. That's good to know. Not like I have a huge following on Twitter, but it's still pretty cool that you can live stream live images of the moon over there. So from everybody here at Deep Sky Dude, which is me, again, I want to thank y'all for hanging out and joining me on a Saturday night into early Sunday morning here. It's 1:42 a.m. Central Time. And it'll be dawn soon for a lot of America. So appreciate y'all watching, hanging out. Oh yeah, the moon's getting soft again. We're probably getting into the actual pole itself. It's about to get real weird. Yeah. See how everything's reddening and fuzzing up? The telephone pole is coming. I might be doing live streams sporadically here and there to do tests on, with this setup, especially with the sun. I want to see what this thing can do with the sun in hydrogen alpha. So be looking for those streams. They'll be, like I said, pretty sporadic over the next several days. But as solar maximum continues to bear down upon us, I'm definitely going to be live streaming the sun. So because there's actually something to show. For a few years back in the day, back a couple years ago, the sun was a ball of nothing. It was just a ball. You couldn't tell that it was even the sun. It just looked like an out of focus nonsense thing. But now there's details and structure up there again. And so I do plan to show that kind of stuff to y'all. If y'all are interested, come on by, hang out and check it out. So yeah. And as we're signing off here, we got Dave from Amsterdam coming in. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. And what's cool about this is I can actually, let's see, can actually put myself on here. What's up, y'all? You can see the street light behind me here. My local street light. And I'm just using the light of the computer to illuminate myself here in the suburbs. I mean, it's not like it's dark out here or anything. But cool. glad y'all could join me. I really appreciate it. As always, thank y'all for following and sharing. Those of y'all that shared the stream, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Not a bad run. If you have questions about astronomy, send them my way. I do a Q&A on Instagram every week now. That's something I've been told I must do, thanks to my Instagram rep that I have, which is pretty cool. So I'm doing those. So if you have questions, send those in when those Q&As go live. I don't know what day I'm picking yet for that. I need to get more consistent with that. And I've got some questions to answer now, so I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. So busy day tomorrow. Y'all have a great Sunday. Have a great start to your week if you're catching this later than Sunday. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace, y'all. Have a great evening.